Previously on AI Bannerlord, Edward of the Vandal has ridden around the keeps of Calradia, planting seeds of deception and future war. After getting innocent men murdered to plant evidence and attacking an Asari lord while in disguise, we find Edward outside of Lycius, where he just got his ass whooped.
Well, I must say, it was nice of the Asari to just let me go.
We're going to need a full 9 companions if we ever want a chance of winning a fight in a keep. Maybe we'll start there today.
Also, the game has reacted to my crime spree. Pause if you'd like to read the whole thing, but Unkid is demanding a response from Dether, as he still believes I was a Vlandian when I went rogue and attacked his lord.
While looking for companions, I noticed a siege occurring. I decided to watch it when another cool feature of this mod popped up. Lords can actually approach you and start the conversation on the campaign map. A Western Empire lord wished to speak with me.
You there, halt. I am Amanon of Clan Varos, and you've picked a peculiar time to wander these lands. Battanian dogs are besieging our castle as we speak. And here you come riding with, what, 90 Battanian warriors at your back? Fian champions, no less. So before my generous nature runs dry, tell me plainly, who are you and whose side do you stand on?
I tell this guy, I am Edward of the Vandal. I am on no side but my own. I am returning from the desert. I love watching a good fight. I thought I'd see who comes out on top of this one.
Edward of the Vandal. Never heard of you, and I've shared campfires with half the sellswords in Calradia. You say you're on no side. Fine. I've been a free sword myself. I understand the appeal. Right now there's a Battanian army, Muinser's lot, hammering at the walls of that castle. My emperor's castle. And you show up with 90 of their countrymen, saying you want to. Per Imperium, I've told better lies to stable girls, so I'll ask you plainly. Are you here to fight for Battania? Or can you give me one good reason I shouldn't treat you as a threat?
Treat me as a threat? I haven't even done anything to you, dickhead. I respond with, you're already fighting a war. If you want to add another 90 enemies to your cause, knock yourself out. My business is in Vlandia, where I watched a man pretend to be an envoy of Vlandia, then attack the whole keep. I realise in post that I meant to type Asari instead of Vlandia. It munts this conversation a bit, but Edward, not knowing geography, fits his character.
An envoy attacked a keep? Hold on, Edward. I've heard two tales rattling around lately, and neither one matches yours cleanly. There was some Highland madman at Charas who barged into Vlandian court screaming about secret pacts. That was no attack, just a loud fool with a death wish. But then there's the one from Iakis, some bastard calling himself Jacques, slashed Lord Guzid across the face while claiming he carried Durthart's blessing. That was in Asari lands, not Vlandia. So which one did you actually see? Because if you were at Iakis 4 days ago and you're here now, that's a hard ride.
Damn, word of my crimes is spreading fast. It happened 4 days ago, and this dude already knows every minute detail.
Yes, this occurred in Lycius. I ride hard and sail even harder. I have no time for a geography lesson. I have important news that needs to reach people more important than you.
More important people. First it was Vlandia, now it's Lycius. You can't even keep your story's geography straight, and you want to lecture me about importance? Let me educate you, Edward of no one's ever heard of. That incident at Charas, the one where some madman accused my emperor, Garios, of a secret pact with the Asari, that concerns the Western Empire directly, which means it concerns ME directly.
Edward can only take so much verbal abuse. He says, next time I run into you, it will not end as peacefully as today. Eat shit, and if the gods are just, you'll die in a house fire. Cheers.
A house fire. You know, Edward, I've met 100 men like you on 100 roads. Loud when they're leaving, brave when no one's chasing them. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to do you a kindness you don't deserve. I'm going to let you ride away, not because your threats frighten me, but because there are Battanians dying on those walls right now. And my sword has better work than gutting a man who can't even name the city where his own story happened.
After chatting with that Creighton, Edward was planning on heading back to the Aserai lands for more tomfoolery. But before he could, a devastating piece of news reached him. Derthat himself had accused Edward of being behind the slashing at Lycius. With the whole realm now looking for him, Edward barged back to the Lion's Den. I was making my way to Avlandian Keep when a mercenary group randomly declared war against my clan. I don't know if the AI is trying to cash in on my ransom or what. This is a good chance to show the AI battle command. We can control our troops entirely by telling them what to do. I'm not even going to set these boys up. We're going to leave them be and tell the archers to find high ground, and the infantry is pushing their ass in. All right, in just a second, the infantry should move, and hopefully the archers will join them. And they're off. Kind of cool. I didn't even realise they sent little messages like the Alive Scenes mod. But looks like the archers are happy with the high ground here. We're going to charge them in, I reckon. Let's see if that gets them moving. It would be better if I were defending. I have a feeling they're just going to hide as far away as possible. Shit, didn't even realise I had some cav. We can get a little crazy. We can make specific commands like this.
I think because I said a direction, they're just going to hold the left flank, which is honestly fine.
So the cav has just been holding the flank, which is smart, honestly. But we're just going to send everyone in because I will say it takes forever to get them moving through tight.
Just going to have to be ready to pull back the cav. The enemy has been telling his troops to take the high ground and lead us into a funnel, so we shall see how well he does.
So the infantry is behind a hill and the archers are on top of it. Honestly smart tactics by the AI.
Yeah!
Alright, that's pretty cool. Right as my cav hit, their commander announced it and told them to focus, fire and brace for them. And they're smoking them as expected. Alright then. I will say I can't even see them over there. Alright, I will say, his archers are holding a crazy high ground angle and my troops are more or less funneling in there one at a time. I would say that the enemy commander actually pulled of the tactics he was blabbing about in the chat. And unfortunately, my recording stuttered out here a bit, we got funneled in and took a lot more losses than I expected, but in the end we won. I will say, being able to command a battle just by typing orders is very cool. We will go into this more when we join a kingdom.
Now that Edward was back on the road, he had a lot of business to attend to. A court has publicly accused him of attempted murder and espionage. Edward was about to see some familiar faces on the quest to clean his name.
Oh no, these people already do not like me. Cooked. I say, my name is Edward of the Vandal. I demand to know why I am accused via letter of attacking an Aserai keep. These rumours trouble me.
Edward of the Vandal. We have met before, Jacqueline, 16 days past. You wore the same Battanian cloth and carried the same Nord steel. The accusation you speak of concerns the attack on Lord Guzid in the Iacus. A man claiming to be Vlandian cut the Aserai Lord's face in his own hall. But fresh word reached us only today. A sellsword near Remtoil was caught boasting he impersonated the attacker. and he traveled with Battanian Fian champions. So the question becomes not whether you are accused, sir, but whether the man who did this wore your colors. You came to Jacqueline warning us of Aserai schemes. Now an assassin walks in Battanian company. The arithmetic troubles me as much as it troubles you.
Everyone in this goddamned world is apparently the world's greatest detective.
The man who barged into Charas, my family's city, wore Highland leather and carried a Nord blade, much like yourself, Sir Edward. And now we learn the attacker in Iakis traveled with Fian champions. You say these rumors trouble you. Well, they trouble us more. Charas is home, so forgive me if I ask plainly. What business does a Battanian lord have demanding answers in a Vlandian hall?
That woman should start an ASMR channel.
Sir Edward, you came to us at Charas with warnings and insults in equal measure. Now you return demanding answers. The Remtoil report actually suggests the Iakis attacker was an impersonator traveling with Battanian warriors, which means someone is weaving lies using every banner on this continent. The question is whether you are the weaver or another thread being pulled.
I tell them, I remember this company. If you sent riders to Sionon, you would have seen the Aserai man I spoke of. I come here because this realm accuses me. The Aserai say it was one of you. I am a good person. I should not die for the actions of others.
You did not answer my question, Sir Edward. As for Sionon, riders were sent. What they found or did not find is Vlandia's concern, not yours to leverage. And greatness is a word I have heard from many men who stood where you stand. The ones who proved it never needed to say it. No one in this hall has sentenced you. But if you want our trust, stop declaring your worth and start offering your truth.
Philenora asked you a question, sir. You have not answered it. The Sionon tip was a deed. I said I do not forget debts, and I meant it. But declaring yourself great while dodging a queen's inquiry is poor arithmetic.
Still have a bit of cheese in our ears, I see. I said I come here because it is in the courts of Vlandia who accuse me. The Aserai themselves say a Vlandian envoy did this. I am Battanian. It would be hard to mix us up.
Mind your tongue in my hall, Sir Edward. I hear you perfectly well. Yes, the attacker posed as Vlandian. And yes, a Battanian would be difficult to mistake for one of ours. But the man caught boasting near Remtoil traveled with Battanian Fian champions. So the mask was Vlandian, but the hand that held it may well have been Battanian. You see why your tartan does not comfort us as much as you think it should.
Your logic holds on the face of it, sir. A Battanian is no Vlandian. Any man with eyes could see that. But the man who this rode with Fian champions, no one is calling you the hand that held the blade. We are asking whether you know whose hand it was.
Fine, your point holds. If the Aserai blame Vlandia, coming here makes sense, I'll grant you that. But Peric asked you something worth answering. The man who did this rode with Fian champions, people's warriors. So if you didn't swing the blade, who among your countrymen did?
They want another sacrificial lamb? Who should we give them?
Stay out of Vlandian courts, Edward, and stay out of deep rivers while you're at it.
I say I do not know who attacked that man, but I have a hunch. One of the Battanian lords, Kulharn. He has an ongoing conflict with a few Aserai lords from back in the day. Disputes over trade. If anyone has a real reason to do it, it's him.
Kulharn. We know of him. He stood beside Caladog when the High King refused to send agents into our courts. A man with grievances and a loose tongue. But you say trade disputes with the Aserai. That is new to me. What manner of dispute drives a lord to hire sellswords and dress them in another kingdom's colors?
Kulharn. That name is not unfamiliar. He stood beside Caladog when the High King refused to send agents into Vlandian courts, and he made no secret of wanting Pendrek back. A man whose king chooses restraint while his own blood boils, that is a man who might act alone. The arithmetic fits. But I notice you offer your own countryman's name rather freely, Sir Edward. That is either honest counsel or a convenient sacrifice.
A man who names his own countrymen does not do so lightly, or does so very lightly indeed, if that countryman is expendable. But Kulharn is governor of Pendrek. He has the resources, the grievance, and If your trade dispute claim holds true, the motive. That can be verified without your help, Sir Edward, and if it proves true, you will have done yourself a great service today.
Finally, Edward of the fucking Vandal gets a little respect on his name. Throwing Culhan under the bus is going to create some great news. To complicate it even further, let's find a Battanian lord and see if we can talk our way into joining them as a mercenary. As I was heading back towards the forest, more news came. The game reacted to not only the siege of Remtoil Castle, but the fact that the Lord and I feuded right outside of it. Worse for Edward, the keeps of the realm were slowly piecing together his web of schemes. He pushed forth regardless. Alright, I found a Battanian army, which means they could recruit me as a merc. Don't botch this, Edward.
Yours is not a face I know.
I say, name's Edward of the Vandal. Caladog knows me well. I wish to join Battania as a mercenary. You don't have to pay me anything. I have a few blood disputes to settle. Your war with the Western Empire will be perfect for it.
Edward of the Vandal, you say? Caladog knows many men, which tells me nothing I can use. What does interest me is this. A man dressed in bandit fur commanding 10 of our finest Fian champions. Those warriors don't follow just anyone, and a company matching your descriptions was spotted near Remtoil, not 4 days past, sulking about while Lord Munasir laid siege. Blood disputes fought for free. In my experience, nothing comes free. The man who asks no coin usually wants something worth more than gold. I can put you before Battania's banner, aye, I've that authority. But first, you'll tell me plain. Where did you come by those Fian champions, and what exactly are these blood disputes of yours? I am an honest man. I expect the same courtesy.
I respond with, they follow real men. I have nothing more to add to their reasoning for joining me. A Western Empire lord was really mean to me, said things that made my tummy sad. He can't get away with that.
Made your tummy sad? Aye, very good. I asked you a plain question, Edward, and you gave me a child's answer. I don't find it charming. Let me count what I know. 4 days past, Lord Ammonon spotted a foreign sellsword near Remtoil, commanding Fian champions. A man boasted of slashing an Aserai lord's face in Liakis, while pretending to be Vlandian. That sellsword matches you almost arrow for arrow. Now you appear at my patrol dressed in raider fur, offering to fight for free, dodging every question I put to you. In my experience, a man who won't answer simple questions has answers he knows I won't like. I'll not put Battania's banner over a man who might be the very provocateur half of Calradia is hunting. Caldog swore publicly he sent no agents. If you're the one stirring this pot, you'll bring the wrath of every kingdom down on us. So, I'll ask once more plainly. Were you at Liakis? Were you the man near Remtoil? Answer me honestly, and we'll talk. Lie to me, and you'll find my patience shorter than my purse strings.
I am the man from Remtoil, but I never bragged about slashing anyone. I was there to sell wood. A Vlandian man came in hot and started slashing up the keep. I was in town, didn't see it myself.
Selling wood, with 10 Fian champions, 10 river raiders, and a pack of sea raider chiefs as your cart pullers. That's the most expensive timber crew in Calradia, Edward. Lord Ammonon says the man he met on the road boasted openly of the Liakis attack and admitted impersonating a Vlandian envoy. You say that man wasn't you. Fine. Reports travel crooked sometimes. But you've only answered half my question. I asked about Liakis too. Were you there when someone carved Lord Guzid's face open? Were you anywhere near the Nahasa these past weeks?
This clearly isn't going the way I wanted it to, so luckily for us there's a Plab B. After joining the Battanians against their will, Edward went to report to Caladog. My recording dies after 2 brief messages, but it kept just enough to give this story a nice little conclusion. I say, Caladog, a month has gone by. It's good to see you again. I am now a sellsword fighting for you.
Edward of the Vandal, the man who would seduce Vlandian noblewomen with his juicy behind. I remember you well. Caves, you said. It seems the caves bred something sharper than I expected. You carry a real company now. Before you warm yourself by my fire sellsword, word has reached my ears from Deathert's halls.
A Battanian wanderer named Edward accused Lord Culhern, my lord, my governor, of orchestrating an attack on an Aseri noble in Liakis. That was you, wasn't it? Tell me plainly, Edward. What did you do in that Vlandian court, and why did you put Culhern's name in Deathert's mouth?
It was I who said this. As the man responsible for the slashing, they would have killed me. I decided to tell them that you and I believe Culhern was the one who carried out the attack. I found out you can just lie and say things.